You look in the mirror and something feels off. Your face doesn't hit the way it should. Your hair feels average. Your skin is too dull. Your jawline is not sharp enough. So you go online looking for answers and you find it. A world that promises transformation. A world that tells you if you do this right, you will finally be respected, desired, admired. It's called Looksmaxing. They tell you to fix your bone structure, fix your hairline, fix your skin, fix your posture, fix your face. And suddenly you feel a spark, like you found the path, a system that lets you improve what life didn't give you. At first it feels empowering. You build routines, you try new products, you even feel hope. But then it gets worse. You start noticing every flaw. Every mirror becomes a test. Every photo becomes an attack. Every reflection makes you question if you've made progress at all. You're not getting more confident. You're getting more anxious, more obsessed, more insecure. Because what started as self-improvement turned into self-rejection. Let's talk about why Looksmaxing is a scam and how it steals your power without you even realizing it. Point number one, Looksmaxing is just rebranded insecurity. This isn't some new movement, it's the same old shame, just with better lighting and filters. Years ago it was about looking alpha, then it became fake confidence. Now it's jaw exercises and bone smashing. But the root is the same. You're told you are not enough as you are, that unless you look a certain way, you will never get the girl, you will never get respect, you will never belong. So you start chasing the look, not for health, not for cleanliness, but to fix something deeper. But you cannot fix internal shame. With external upgrades, you see these guys online, perfect angles, defined faces, flawless skin. You think they're winning, but most of them are still broken because real confidence cannot be filtered. It cannot be sculpted in a mirror. It's built in silence, in how you carry yourself, in how you speak, in what you tolerate. I've seen men with perfect looks still beg for validation. And I've seen men with scars and flaws move through the world like kings. Why? Because presence beats perfection. Every time. Looksmaxing sells you the lie that your power is on your face, when in reality, it was always in your energy. Point number two, you're fixing the wrong thing. There is nothing wrong with grooming, nothing wrong with wanting to be clean, or presentable, or sharp, but that is not what most men are doing. Most men are not grooming. They are editing, hiding, overcorrecting, trying to fix a broken mirror by adjusting the reflection. But the real cracks are internal. They are in how you see yourself, not how the world sees you. If you feel ugly, if you feel invisible, if you feel like you have to look a certain way just to be accepted, then the problem is not your face, it's your foundation. Because no skincare routine, no hair transplant, no bone structure change will fix the emptiness of not believing you are enough. You are not insecure because of your appearance, you are insecure because of your identity. Looksmaxing is not fixing that, it's distracting you from it. You're trying to solve a confidence problem with a cosmetics answer. That's why it doesn't work. That's why you never feel complete. You're fixing the wrong thing. Point number three, Looksmaxing makes you fragile. This is the trap. The more you base your value on how you look, the more fragile you become. Because now your confidence is conditional. It only exists when you feel you look your best. It disappears the moment you break out, the moment your hairline changes, the moment you gain weight. You become a man who only feels strong when the mirror agrees. But what happens when life hits you? When stress wrecks your skin? When age takes away your features, you crumble because you've built your worth on a foundation that was never meant to hold it. That's why Looksmaxing creates anxiety. That's why it never ends. You always feel one step behind. Always feel you need one more fix. You go from confident to obsessive, from powerful to panicked, because nothing ever feels like enough. And even when you improve, you don't feel better. You just raise the bar and lower your peace. This isn't strength. This is slavery. Your confidence should not depend on how perfect your face is today. It should be built on who you are when all that is stripped away. The man who knows who he is untouchable because he doesn't need the mirror to remind him. Point number four, real confidence is felt, not seen. There's a reason why some guys walk into a room and instantly command respect, even without speaking, even without being the best looking. People just feel something, a calmness, a grounded presence, a silent type of strength. And there's a reason why other guys, even if they're physically flawless, feel invisible. They overcompensate, they need approval, they get ignored. Confidence is not something you wear, it's something you radiate. You can have the best jawline in the room, but if you're nervous, if you're trying to impress, if your eyes are searching for validation, you've already lost. Because people don't respond to features, they respond to energy. A woman won't remember your perfect haircut, but she'll remember how calm you made her feel. She'll remember your eye contact, the way you listened, the way you carried yourself, that kind of presence, it doesn't come from a mirror, it comes from your identity. Point number 5, if you're always editing, you're never accepting. There's a difference between growth and shame. Growth says, I want to improve. Shame says, I am not enough. Looksmaxing, when done from shame, becomes punishment. You start obsessing over every detail. You hide behind filters. You avoid real connection because you're too busy fixing what was never broken. You get so good at editing that you forget how to just exist. The truth is, you will never feel free until you accept yourself as you are. That doesn't mean settling. That doesn't mean giving up. It means building from love, not fear. When you accept yourself, you stop reacting to every flaw. You stop needing others to validate your image. You stop checking the mirror 5 times a day. You stop being the guy who performs confidence, and you become the guy who lives it. And trust me, that version of you will always be more attractive. Point number 6, the mirror is not the problem. The mirror is not evil. Your reflection is not your enemy. The problem is the story you tell yourself when you look at it. You think she won't love you unless you look like him. You think you won't belong unless you become someone else. You think confidence means flawless. But real men are not flawless. They are flawed and still grounded. When you look in the mirror, you need to ask yourself, am I building this for me? Or am I hiding from something? If your self-improvement is rooted in fear, it will drain you. But if it's rooted in love, it will build you. You don't need to throw away your products or stop going to the gym. You just need to stop believing the lie that your worth is in the result, not in the man doing the work. Point number 7, build the frame, not the face. If you want to become powerful, if you want to stop shrinking around women, if you want to lead and not chase, then build the frame, not the face. What is frame? It's the inner structure. It's your mindset, your standards, your boundaries, your values. Frame is what keeps you stable when life gets messy, when people judge you, when you lose, when you feel unseen. A man with frame doesn't collapse. He recalibrates. You don't need to be the best looking guy in the room. You just need to be the most centered. Because that guy, the one who is grounded, is unforgettable. Not because of his look, but because of how he made people feel. Seen, safe, respectful, unshakable. That is what you build. That is what she remembers. And that is what makes you a man. Here are my final words. Looksmaxing isn't evil, but when it becomes your identity, it robs you of everything that matters. It turns self-respect into performance, self-care into shame, and confidence into comparison. You were never supposed to chase approval from a reflection. You were meant to build presence from truth, so stop overthinking every feature. Start rebuilding your frame, because the man who owns his flaws can never be owned by them, and that man is impossible to ignore. If this hit something real, comment, I build the frame. This is Letter to Men. Keep building, keep walking, and stop hiding.